With their taunts and threats, Terry Driver and David Berkowitz showed a callous disregard for their victims. What causes some killers to feel no compassion or empathy? Dr. Roy Baumeister thinks the answer may lie in something simple: social rejection. Dr. Baumeister studies self-control, violence, and aggression at the University of Florida.
Being included is basic to our survival. I think what happens in rejected people is their emotion system has shut down.
Dr. Baumeister theorizes that social rejection can lead to an inability for people to register pain, both physically and emotionally. To test this theory, he recruits subjects and examines their physical pain threshold.
The person comes in and we assess pain by, there's a small device that you put on the person's finger and it gradually increases the pressure.
The subject indicates when they begin to feel pain and when the pain becomes intolerable.
The purpose of the first step is to get a baseline measure of how sensitive to pain the person is.
Dr. Baumeister then induces the feeling of social rejection. Participants are given a personality questionnaire they are told is part of the research. But instead of honest feedback, some are told their questionnaires indicate that they will end up alone in life.
You might have friends and relationships now, but by your mid-20s, most of these will have drifted away.
After they experience this rejection, the patients are again subjected to physical pain.
We administer the pain measure exactly the same as we did the first time, and this enables us to see, has the person's sensitivity to pain changed?
Those who experienced rejection are now able to withstand much more pain.
They are effectively numb. They will sit there for a much longer time before they say it starts to hurt. It doesn't seem to bother them as much.
But not only does their sensitivity to physical pain shift, Baumeister theorizes that a person's emotional awareness also becomes impaired.
Empathy holds us back from doing cruel and violent and hurtful things to others, and if people lose this capacity to feel sorry for others, that's going to make them more willing and more capable of performing violent acts.
Among those who kill for attention, many have long histories of rejection. Could their lonely backgrounds impede their ability to feel empathy for the people they kill?
If you want to speculate about the effects of accumulated rejections, whether this lack of empathy would then become chronic so that you would feel it all the time, it's a very disturbing thought. Certainly, it seems a very likely extension of the patterns that we've observed.
Can repeated feelings of intense rejection turn someone into a serial killer?
He thrives on the notoriety. He likes having his story out there because it validates him as a killer.
Berkowitz wasn't satisfied just to kill. He needed the attention of the media. And just any headline wasn't enough. He created an evil persona designed to make him a legend. The grandiose quality of his actions, the reveling in a feeling of superiority vis-a-vis the authorities, push him even higher on my scale than a multiple murderer. I placed him at level 17, a level reserved for manipulative killers who punish and torment society at large.
David Berkowitz seemingly acted without fear. Instead of covering up his crimes, he reached out to both police and the media. What can science tell us about the role fearlessness plays in attention-seeking killers? Notes, taunts, games. David Berkowitz was motivated by the thrill of the chase and a desperate need for attention. He exhibited powerful signs of fearlessness. Thrill seekers normally pose danger only to themselves. But there are others, like Berkowitz, whose indifference to fear enables a shocking capacity for violence. What can science reveal about those who are not afraid of consequences?
These kids seek out and really enjoy dangerous things that everybody else would find fearful.
At the University of New Orleans, Dr. Paul Frick studies where aggression begins by examining children and adolescents. His research demonstrates that children with both callous and unemotional traits are at a higher risk for developing dangerous and aggressive behavior.
Fear and distress are both negative emotions that they seem to be missing. The kids with callous unemotional traits and conduct problems tend to be the most aggressive and violent offenders.
Dr. Frick uses a visually driven experiment to test for callous, unemotional traits that indicate fearlessness. A dot probe test measures the subject's response time to photographs shown on a monitor.
2 pictures, one on top of each other, flash on the screen, followed by a dot. They hit one button if the dot follows the top picture, another button if it follows the bottom picture. And you press one of those 2 buttons as quickly as you can.
Results are measured in milliseconds, allowing researchers to determine the brain's preconscious response.
We're trying to get a response that doesn't have them thinking about the content, but really gets at their immediate response that is more automatic.
Some photos are neutral. Others are emotionally charged.
The normal response for a child would be to recognize a dot following those emotional pictures quicker than a dot following a neutral picture.
But those with callous, unemotional traits that lead to fearlessness do not have this heightened response.
What we find is callous and emotional kids don't show any difference between those distressing pictures and neutral pictures, or show a slower response to those distressing pictures.
They have not developed the normal empathetic reaction to images of those in pain, nor the feelings of fear or apprehension when imagining their own pain. The incapacity for empathy and inability to process fear can prove to be a dangerous combination.
They just don't pay attention to the effects of their behaviors on others. They don't attend to the fact that it's really hurting the other person.
Is it possible that attention-seeking killers lack the capacity for empathy from earliest childhood? Are these murderers unable to fear punishment? Some killers portray these exact qualities, achieving the notoriety they desire with their very gruesome and very public actions.